A funky firing. My name's Chris Dangerfield. Welcome to my channel. Let's have a look at this bullshit. Eric Bristow, ex-darts champion, loses Sky role for football sex abuse comments. Okay, so if you don't know, a load of footballers, it turns out, were interfered with as children. Eric Bristow, the crafty cockney, tweeted some things. He said some stuff. People don't like it, and now he's fucked. Let's have a look. Check it, we've got a trigger warning. On the BBC online sport, BBC sport page. Trigger warning. Warning. The following article contains language that readers may find offensive. What the fuck is going on? Former darts world champion Eric Bristow has lost his role on Sky Sports after suggesting football abuse victims are not proper men. So, he goes on and let's see what he said. Blah, 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 blah. Bristow, who has made an MBE, which means something like member of the most excellent... what is it? Member of the most excellent order of the British Empire. Some shit like that. Suggested that darts players were tough guys and footballers were wimps. That's my response. That's my real response. It's funny. He added the victims should not be able to look themselves in the mirror for not getting their own back on their abusers in adulthood. It goes on. He deleted the tweets. Craig, well, let's have a look. What's his name? Duncan Craig, chief executive of the charity Survivors Manchester, said he has reported Bristow's tweets to Staffordshire Police as a hate crime. Who? Who is he hating? What the fuck? Have the police not got better things to do than chase up the no victims of the clearly victimless crime of a fucking fat old darts player moaning on Twitter that footballers are wimps? Craig said of Bristow, his comments are absolutely appalling. They may well be. Who gives a fuck? This is what, check it out. Bristow is ill-educated, but that's not a crime. He might as well have just called it. Bristow's a working class idiot, but that's not a crime. However, calling someone derogatory homosexual terms is a hate crime in my view. Yeah? Who? Who was he calling derogatory homosexual crimes? Was it anyone in particular? The reason many men don't speak out is because they feel less of a man, feel judged, feel ashamed. Bristow is perpetuating those myths to his 93,000 followers. That's why I'm taking such strong stance. I'll wave my virtue flag so high. I hope the whole world sees it. Always for other people. I'm doing this for other people. I'm doing this for the victims. Do you honestly think if people like Eric Bristow stopped saying words like poof, that people would speak out more about being sexually abused? I think it's a little bit more complex than that, but I'm sure you've done the psychological analysis before you reach that conclusion. Or are you just guessing? Are you just virtue signalling? Fucking idiots. Let's see what these twits have got to say.
More than 20 former footballers, as you know, have now made allegations that they were victims of abuse when they were children. Now, most people have enormous sympathy for the harrowing details which have...
How do you know? You're guessing. You assume they have. You want them to have. You need them to have. I think most people don't give a fuck.
...been made public, but not this man, Eric Bristow,
Go on, son, the crafty cockney! 180!
MBE.
Look how much alcohol has flowed through that boat race. Look at it. That shirt was white before he pulled it over his face.
Former darts world champion. Last night on Twitter, he allegedly called the victims of abuse wimp.
They're saying allegedly because someone might have hacked his account.
And implied...
Sorry, I went over it. He called them wimps.
It wouldn't have happened to a darts player as they're proper men.
Do you think he's serious? Do you think this is really important? Is this news? Should you be dedicating television time to Eric Bristow, pissed out of his head, sitting on his couch going, that wouldn't have happened to me and Keith Della. Not a chance. Footballers are wimps. Anyway, love, what are we having for dinner? Oh, that! Did you see it? Let's have a look. Oh, I've learnt some new keyboard controls. Thank you to one of my subscribers that told me that I can press J and L to go back and forward 10 seconds. So I just went back. Watch her face. It's fucking disgusting.
Last night on Twitter, he allegedly called the victims of abuse wimps and implied it wouldn't have happened to a darts player as they're proper men.
Yeah. Oh! I can't even do it. I haven't got it in me to be that fucking disgusting.
Yes.
The audience went, ooh, and she went, yes. These people, just fuck off.
Consequently, he's been fired this morning from his job on Sky Sports.
Yeah, because you're not allowed to be a person. Not allowed. Television is what is left over when anything that might threaten or upset or insult or shake things up a bit has been removed. They don't make selections based on content. They make selections based on what's left after they've taken loads of possible threats out. That's why it's awful. That's why it's obsolete. That's why it's going to be consigned to the history bin of entertainment. Bye-bye, television. Bye-bye.
And we were just saying this morning, is it this kind of language, this kind of attitude that has contributed to people, victims of abuse, particularly men in the sporting environment, which is very male kind of dominated?
Oh, look at fucking Lollipop or whatever her name is. Can't wait to get her virtue signalling in.
And macho man. Yeah. Do you think that this kind of attitude...
Macho, yeah. No, it's so more significant than this. I was myself a victim of sexual abuse. It's got fuck all to do with people like Eric Bristow. Jesus Christ. What about a real profound shame?
Janet has contributed to people not coming forward. It's that very kind of thing, saying, well, you're a wimp. Should have done something.
Ooh, look at it. Look at it. The only way I can cope with looking at Porter is when I remember when Jordan took her son Harvey on this show and he wiped a bogey on her arm. It's the only way. It counterbalances the hideousness of everything else that she stands for.
Something about it, mate.
In some ways, but I don't think we're looking at a scandal the size of the Jimmy Savile.
Yes, here's a question about one thing and here's an answer about another thing. Nice one, Janet.
Scandal, but obviously what has happened is shocking, and I don't want to...
Shocking. Do you think anyone was actually shocked? She's a bullshitter. Even Porter, when she was looking at the show's notes, when they got emailed to her this morning before the programme, not a chance did she go, there was nothing shocking about it. She probably went, oh, is this what I've got? Obviously it's dull as fuck.
To detract from the misery felt by the victims and the fact that they felt they couldn't speak out about it for so long, and obviously the minute that one person spoke out, others drew strength from that and could come forward. But what I would say about Eric Bristow is, quite apart from the fact he's beneath contempt.
Oh really, Janet Street Porter? Do you know what beneath contempt means? It means when something is so void of significance and unimportant it is not worth attention. So if you honestly think it's beneath contempt, button it.
I would like to see him hand his honour back, because I don't think he's in any way...
Oh, yeah. I think a man who tweeted that footballers are wimps, it wouldn't have happened to a darts player. If that was me, I'd have gone back and got the puff. Yeah, I mean, that, compared with the actions of the British Empire? Really? Let's weigh it up. Let's put it in the scales of justice. In this one, we've got the deeds of the British Empire. And in this one, we've got the crafty Cockney calling a paedophile a puff because he happened to sexually abuse a young boy. Let's see how it works out. Boom! For fuck's sake. What is that weird symbology? What's he going to do? Go to Buckingham Palace, get the cameras on him and go, "Dear Queen, I am not worthy of this, for I tweeted some real nonsense that is, as Janet said, beneath contempt, yet she seems to give a real fuck."
Don't go through life thinking that people like Eric Bristow speak for the majority of people in this country.
Well, I'm sorry, but actually he does. Because people say this kind of shit all the time. I don't know what insane rarefied air you live in, but of course, I am a working class man. This sort of stuff is the bread and butter of conversation. Of course it is. I guarantee when people heard about this, I'd have been sitting at home going, I'd have gone round and got that fucking bender, smashed fucking 9 fucking bells out of him. All up and down the country. What do you think people are really saying at home, you idiot? Dreamer.
Majority of people in this country.
Because they're not actually being homophobic. They're not actually saying that footballers are wimps. It's just the way they deal with this sort of unpleasant stuff. They make jokes about it. I mean, do you honestly think Eric Bristo was saying, "This wouldn't have happened to a darts player. Not a fucking chance. Footballers are wimps"? Or is there the long shot, just the outside chance, that it was a little dig at a different group of sportsmen? Almost like a basic bit of tribalism. I wonder. Oh, the audience.
Have come a long way in the last few years in embracing all kinds of sexuality, embracing people's behaviour.
Last few years, no one's give a shit about gays for like 3 fucking decades.
I mean, we are an open-minded society.
I remember when Boy George went to #1 in like 83. Oh yeah, that was a terrible homophobic culture we lived in then.
We're not typical. He's not typical. I just don't.
He is typical. He is typical. That's why he's got 93,000 followers. What, do you think these are all really obscure people? For fuck's sake.
Let's hope not. I mean, I was looking through
And let's hope not. Well, you need to hope again, woman.
these tweets.
Because the rest of us don't mind a bit of banter.
And he says, "I might be a loony, but if some football coach was touching me when I was a kid, as I got older, I'd have gone back and sorted that out."
How to give a word power? I'd have sorted that out, and it was blurred out. What is happening to our culture where you cannot say puff? You cannot even show the word. Does she think anyone didn't understand that? What she's actually done, the comedian Louis C.K. said it, when people say the N-word. When people say the N-word, all you're doing is make me say nigger in my head. You've just done it there. Anyone watching that has just said to themselves, poof. You've made me say it, you bastard. What is it? I'm trying to work out who would have sat at home if it had said puff and she'd have said puff, would have gone, no, what has happened? And complained. I'm sure it would have happened like 4 fucking times. The rest of us would have just gone, Bristow, you twit. End. Finished.
I bet the rugby boys are okay.
What's this? That's just, this is a part of this whole thing. Lad culture, working class blokes, dapper laughs, fuck you.
Okay, ha ha ha. Darts play.
Look, ha ha ha. Is that what you put at the end of a serious analysis of the cultural situation of child abuse? Or is it what you put at a fucking joke? Oh, God. Dart players, tough guys. Footballers, wimps. Yeah, it's great. And the hilarious thing is darts players, no, really pissed, chain smoking. Footballers, incredible athletes. It's a fucking joke, you dry, cobweb bunch of cunts.
Players, we're tough guys. Footballers, wimps.
Oh, but
Yeah.
listen.
Oh, what's her name? Pampadong or something. How dare he? These dirty working class white men. Oh, fuck them. We should really eradicate them off the face of the earth.
And Ruth, it is all shocking, and it's just...
It's not fucking shocking. The only thing shocking is you know it's beneath contempt, and yet you are still going on about it. Porter, you bullshitter. No one was shocked. Not a fucking chance. There's no shock here.
disgusting, and I cringe as you're saying it.
Oh, it's disgusting. Yeah. Oh, I cringe when I hear darts players are tough guys. Footballers are wimps. Oh, shocking. What world do you live in?
But most people who play darts and who play football are not like that.
No. I go to the Arsenal about once a week. Everyone in the crowd is like that, and I would assume everyone on the fucking pitch is like that. I've heard the language of footballers. What are you talking about? They're working class men, you idiot.
That is an attitude that might have prevailed in the 1950s. It's
No, it prevails now because it's not fucking serious. I've just spilled my fucking water. Bollocks. You done that, Porter.
It's like almost like hearing like, well, none of my relatives were like that, but it's the kind of thing pre-Afghani, for goodness sake.
Yeah, I mean, it actually...
It's a sort of thing Afghan, it would have said. Yes, which people still find funny. And you know when you just laughed at that, would suggest Garnett's funny, but not Bristow. No, fuck him. Let's see you enjoy it again.
1950s. It's like almost like hearing like, well, none of my relatives were like that, but it's the kind of thing pre-Afghani.
Hang on, listen carefully again. She almost said it. She almost said her relatives were like that. Of course they were. Listen, the applause is over it, but...
Is an attitude that might have prevailed in the 1950s. It's like almost like hearing like, well, none of my relatives were like
Not my relatives. Of course they were.
that, but it's the kind of thing pre-Afghani, for goodness sake.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I have to say that the tweets have been deleted.
Look at her talking about it like it's the fucking Cuban Missile Crisis. We're just getting word through that Bristow has deleted the tweets. We haven't got this confirmed yet, but we will look into it. Over to you, Porter.
Say allegedly tweeted because, you know, some people do have their accounts hacked.
Yes.
But as we said, he has been sacked from his job as a pundit.
So they...
Yeah, because Sky Telly don't want someone on there who dares be human and just want robots. Just yes, no, yes, fuck off. You're obsolete. You're over. Television's at its day. It had centuries left in it until you fuckers got hold of it and turned it into this bullshit.
Sky Sports
They think
today.
he did tweet that.
We did.
Oh, Pampadong, have you got anything to say? All I'm hearing is noises coming from you. Dang, 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 bang. Come on, speak up, girl.
To get in touch with Eric Bristow's agent to see if he would talk to us or comment. He hasn't released any statement and they turned us down.
Oh my God, we got through to his agent and he blew us out. We're hearing word now that Bristow has left the house and yet still no word. Over to you, Porter.
To talk to
I
him
don't think
today.
he should release anything. I think he should just stop the talking.
Yeah, shut up. Can you shut up, Eric? We don't want to hear from the people like you. Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, said old Ping Pong.
You know,
Ah.
when I heard those comments today, I was just...
Watch the lies. Watch her lie.
To talk to
I don't
him
think
today.
he should release anything. I think he should just stop the talking.
Yeah.
Ping pong. Arr. Now, if you ask yourself, forget everything we've said, whatever I've said to you, does this sound like someone who's telling the truth? I haven't seen this, I haven't watched this far, I didn't need to. Does this sound like that someone is being honest?
You know, when I heard those comments today, I was horrified, and I just thought these comments are 8 shades of stupid, 8 shades of inappropriate, and 8,000 shades of ignorant.
Horrified? Were you horrified? 8 shade. What does 8 shade? What? I don't even know what that fucking means.
You know, and like you,
About time you made some noises, isn't it, Ping Pong?
I think I was
Why are you wearing my auntie's carpet?
conflicted. Do we talk about this and highlight that kind of behavior? Because part of me is torn. I don't want to highlight or encourage that kind of language. Because
You should have thought about that fucking 3 minutes 41 seconds ago.
I think it's so disgusting.
Oh, it's disgusting to make a joke. How dare you make jokes? Oh, well, I mean, you can make jokes. Knock, knock. Who's there? Amos. Amos who? Amos Mosquito. Fuck you.
Equally, I think you do have to acknowledge it and address it because it is so wrong and antiquated, and people should understand that behavior is
Yeah.
unacceptable.
Well, we are always trying to teach boys, aren't we?
We are, and
You don't have to
Ping pong. Yeah.
be a man.
And
you
hold
can
things
cry,
in
you can-
completely.
yeah.
And I think that's why it's really important that we do talk about it, so that for victims out there, we highlight that these sorts of comments are unacceptable.
Can you imagine if someone at home was sexually abused, they're having trouble coming to terms with it because it's a deeply scarring psychological event in their lives. They're struggling with shame, they're struggling with self-worth, the tendency to have drug problems, alcohol problems, or dysfunction in the family. Bristow says this. How much do you think that affects them? Eric Bristo saying, darts players would have sorted this out, not you wimpy footballers. Do you think that's had any effect on them? And then, do you think Ping Pong saying, these aren't the right things to say, this is wrong, and then they've gone, oh, phew, thank fuck for that. Or has it had absolutely no effect whatsoever, any of this, on their life? You decide.
But I think I agree in part with what Janet's saying, but I do think that these sorts of views are more prevalent than we think.
Whoa! Ping Pong! Look, she's hit the nail on the head. Look at Porter looking at her. You only agree part of what I said. That's not how I like it.
I think there are a lot of people who are probably going to be actually agreeing with what Eric has said.
No, you need Ping Pong. You nearly had it. Look at her boat race. You nearly had it right. It is more prevalent that people say these things, not because they agree with it. Not one person on the planet agrees with this idea that darts players are hard and footballers are wimps. It's not a question of agreeing because it hasn't been put out there for you to make a decision whether it is right or wrong. It's a fucking joke.
Yeah, there will be a lot of people, June, but they won't be the majority.
Of course not.
What is this? A Venn diagram? A pie chart? Janet Street Potter, 44% would not agree with it, whereas only 10% in a studio audience. Fuck off!
It's going to be a very, very small number of people in this country who have
What are they doing with their hands? Hang on, I've got to just take it back a little bit. Look at Ping Pong's right hand. Look at this. She's going.
country who have unacceptable political views
I
from
agree.
the far right.
I agree with that.
Unacceptable views about sex. But in any society, you have to accept there'll always be a small percentage who are abhorrent to the majority.
But I think
Eric Bristo, abhorrent.
for the case of the victims, it's really important that we challenge comments like this so that they do feel able to come out, because it's...
Yeah, sure. So what I'm getting from this is what you've summarised at the end of this really important piece of debate is exactly what you thought at the beginning.
That's why they don't.
Yeah, but
If you thought...
Ah, fuck off! If you enjoyed my video and would like to see more, maybe subscribe. You'll receive an email to notify you I've made a new one. There's plenty more down there, and there's 30 hours of podcast audio only that I made last year. Thanks for coming. Have a nice evening. Bye.